Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the vlog, because I am doing video right now. And I'm doing this, like we're doing it. We're not gonna sit here for 5 hours and like redo everything. This is just me being raw and tripping over my tongue. Do not care. But we are gonna be talking all things Bachelor today. The second episode of Katie's season aired yesterday. So we're going to go through and just like talk about it. And I will share my thoughts. And if you guys want to pop in the comments and let me know what you guys thought, please do so, because I love talking Bachelor with anybody who actually watches. Because not a lot of my friends watch. I know like a lot of people watch, but not a lot of my friends do. So, first things first. The first thing I had in my notes was they were getting ready for the first group date, and Katie was like out of breath walking around. What were they doing? Oh, they were just like, I think they ran up to her to meet her, and she just was like so out of breath, and I was like, why is this girl out of breath right now? And I kind of realized throughout the episode that it is freezing down there. You know, they were in Mexico. Were they in Mexico or New Mexico? Now my mind is blown. But either way, New Mexico, Mexico, like, I guess I'm ignorant and I think like it's just warm down there all the time. Apparently they have seasons but no snow. But I thought they were filming in like April or May. But it became apparent to me that she and all the rest of the guys are like freezing. You see them throughout the episode like holding their arms or their hands underneath their legs and everything. And I'm just like, okay, so it's freezing. Like I think it was when her and Aaron sat down for their like one-on-one at later on in the episode. I think it was him. He was like, you know how when you're so cold, like you're like you're shaking trying to talk? That's basically what he was doing. And I want to say it was Aaron, but it was crazy. I was just like, can somebody get this guy a blanket? Can somebody get this guy some hand warmers? Like, good Lord. Or just, hey, ABC, like, why not try getting these people to a place that's like not extreme weather? Like, can you be just in the middle somewhat? Like, I feel like Pennsylvania last season with Matt was, I guess, okay because they were there in the fall, but like, can't you go somewhere where it's not 5,000 degrees like it was on Claire and Tayshia's season without it being freezing cold out? I mean, what are we doing here? But like Florida. Florida would probably have been nice around that time. Maybe I'm wrong, but it'd be better than, sitting outside in what I would assume is, I mean, if you're shivering that bad, it's got to be like in the 30s, maybe even colder. I don't know. So I honestly have to tell the truth. Like, I was kind of like zoning in and out. Plus, my sister called me. Shout out to my sister, but she called me right before it started. And then my kid was like, being a 7-year-old, and I've got my sister on FaceTime. And so I was like kind of like super not paying attention real close in the beginning. But they always show like the guys in the house and just like kind of talking and whatever. And at one point, I think Karl was just like going on and on and on, which makes sense because he is a motivational speaker. But Karl was just like, talking nonstop. And it showed Justin in like a confessional? Is that what they're called? Is that what they're called? I don't know what they're called. The little side chat. And he was like, can somebody get this guy either a Xanax or a muzzle? And I was just like, I'm living for the commentary. I have a feeling that him and Karl are going to, like, I don't know how long Karl's going to be around for based on what happened later on in the episode, but I have a feeling that him and Justin in particular are going to go at it. Could be wrong, but I can definitely see that being a thing. But okay, so I feel like I jumped ahead earlier, but the first group date is now here, and it's based on who is the best lover. I think it was who is the best lover or something like that. And Mike, I can't remember his last initial, but I just call him Mike, and then the dad Michael. But Mike, who is the virgin, he's losing his crap. Like, he is like teary-eyed. He's really nervous. He's like, okay, like, I knew this was going to come up, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon. And I felt really bad for him. I felt bad for him, but then I was also like, oh God, oh God, oh God. Like, this is going to be so cringe. This is going to be so cringe. But I was pleasantly surprised. I have in my notes, his eyes on when Trey did his puppet show were like, oh my God, I could not believe this guy's doing this. It was so funny, and that even though made me be like, oh God, like, he is gonna be super cringy. But his little like journal entry was so sweet. It had Katie tearing up. She was wiping away tears. I think Tasha and Caitlin were tearing up, and even the guys, you could tell. I think that was one of the things that I thought would be like the big issue, is the guys being like, oh really? More people, I guess, are more sex positive than they are not these days, or just active. And so I really thought the guys would like have some type of feeling about it, but they were so nice and supportive, and I was definitely here for it. So he ended up winning the contest, and I thought that was so sweet. But I really liked his journal entry and his words to her. And you know what? I thought that the way that he came across and how he approached the whole situation with Katie and the whole like message of the group date said so much about his character and so much about him and the man that he is. Granted, we have a lot of season to go, but I thought that the way that he talked to Katie versus the way we saw Luke P talk to Hannah a few Bachelorette seasons ago, huge difference. Like, I don't know. I really like Mike. I think he's a good dude. But then you have Hunter. I don't know. He wasn't on this date, but they like showed him in his little side chats, and I heard this, and now seeing him more frequently, I'm like, Hunter is Taylor Lautner, but like not. Like, Hunter looks so much like him. Like, he could definitely be an older brother to Taylor Lautner. Karl's speech during the group day, during the day portion, super cringy. He just, again, went on and on and on. Ugh, like, not into it at all. He's like one of those guys that, I mean, and you see it later on when he's talking to Katie. Like, he just like thinks I almost feel like he thinks women are inferior. That's how it comes off. Like, he thinks women are dumb and like they can't really think for themselves. The way he talks to Katie later on in the episode, and he's like, oh no, I just want you to be able to have a good night and blah blah blah. Like, don't tell me to have a good night. Like, you just started drama and now you're trying to make me like, what is happening here? I'm not into it. The guys definitely already get a vibe from him too, and it's just not cute. It's not a good look, Karl. Like, I'm sorry. I don't really understand how you're a motivational speaker, because you're not motivating anybody except for maybe motivating them to walk out of the room while you're talking. Ugh. Moving on to Greg's one-on-one. Okay. So, I know that most of Bachelor Nation really loves Greg, and I am neither here nor there. I don't really know yet. I listened to Chatty Broad, shout out, and they seem to think that there's something sketchy going on with Greg, and that could honestly just be because of their past relationships. But I did a little bit of snooping, and even though I haven't really seen anything super like red flaggy about him, I would say if he is sketchy, the one thing that made me think that that could be legitimate is his hair, which seems, like, what are you talking about, Chelsea? But just like, hear me out. In his Instagram, he looks like almost like a completely different person. He's got like just a completely different haircut. It's like short and more like jockey. And then he comes in to the show with this like Boy Meets World Sean haircut, looking like, you know, this just like innocent, sweet guy with who doesn't know what's going on. And it just kind of makes me, because like a haircut can do a lot for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, if I guarantee you, if he would have came in with that other haircut, he would not be coming off like that. Like, he'd be coming off like he might still be portraying that, but it'd be like, this doesn't seem right, because he would look more like a jockey, like, this guy could be a player. You don't know. He doesn't seem like that from his personality, but I mean, to be determined, I guess, in my book. Biggest note, they were doing their little camping thing. Katie was like pouring her heart out about her dad, and well, no, that was afterwards, but she was kind of like talking about her dad. And then they like make this toilet out of a bucket. They go sit it somewhere over off to the side. He's sitting on it. They're talking, and then they start making out. And I'm like, okay, so then the night portion. Well, I guess I should probably back up. Katie ends up telling Greg about her dad passing. And I, from snooping on Greg's Instagram, kind of got the sense that his dad had passed too. But then the way he responded to her, I was confused a little bit, because he didn't say like right away, like, okay, yeah, my dad actually died too. But I think I took it as A, he wasn't ready, or B, he was just like letting her have that moment. Also, as a guy, maybe he was just like letting her have that time to share with him and listen and take it in, versus being like, well, my dad died too. But at first he seemed kind of like, yeah, like, but I think he was just like internalizing it, because then we learn later on in the night portion that his dad actually passed only 2 years ago. So it's been pretty fresh, and I'm sure, and you see him cry, and so it might have been really just that he had to take some time to take it all in. But overall, I felt like it was a really cute date. Like, they seemed to be able to be themselves around each other, which I feel like you just don't see. I had to say, like, I wasn't super stoked about Katie being the Bachelorette, and honestly, I'm still not sure how I feel about her. It's not that I don't like her, I just think she's like me, like, in the fact that we're not really all that serious. We like to goof around, and we're kind of weird, but I don't know, I think there's not enough seriousness to her. Like, she said she has seriousness to her, but I can't take it seriously. Like, I don't it seems like every time she is, I don't know, talking to the guys like one-on-one at the cocktail parties, she seems like she's trying to be really prim and proper, and it's just not her. And I don't know, it just throws me. Don't know how to feel about her yet. I like her, I just don't know if I like her as a Bachelorette. But with that being said, I thought the one-on-one went really well. I liked it. I thought that they were a good match together. So we will see how that relationship goes. So they then cut to the guys in the house, and I don't know exactly what was going on, because once again, my notes, I was taking notes. I wasn't like sitting there typing out every little last move. But I wrote that Aaron seems chill when he's sober, but is he that drunk guy that nobody wants to be around? Later on, based on what I've seen in this episode, I would say he really just did not like Cody. But when that first night, when they had that little, like, spat or whatever you would want to call it, I was like, oh, he seems like that drunk guy that's, like, kind of aggressive and, not even, like, physically aggressive, just, like, kind of, like, an instigator. Like, he tries to rile people up. But now I'm kind of convinced that there was something sketchy about Cody and he just didn't like him. And, which, again, it's the second episode, so who knows. But I liked him. He came around for me a little bit. I still, based on what he said when he first met Katie about, like, oh, people say I have a great smile and I can't wait to show you. Like, if I first met a guy, I wouldn't be like, people say I have a great butt and I can't wait to show you. I wouldn't do that. Like, I don't know. That whole thing just made me feel some type of way about him. But, Okay, so second group date. This is the one that I'm like, I mean, I don't have a lot of notes, but I was here for it. The guys walking up as cowboys was the hottest thing. I had to think about it for a second. But yeah, the guys in their cowboy hats and their flannel and their belts and their boots, I was like, cowboy, take me away right now. I am sold. Which it reminds me of the good old days when I was a young and carefree girl going to the country concerts. Memories, sweet memories. So the guys are walking up looking so freaking cute, so good, and they find out that they are doing, like, mud wrestling. They kind of, like, paired up the guys. So at the end, they pair Aaron and Cody, which you knew that was going to happen. They fought. Aaron won, and that is when Katie, before we get there, can we talk about the fashion? Like, we talked about the guys, but Caitlin's overalls, not overalls, it was like a jumpsuit. So freaking cute. I don't know where that came from, but it was so cute. And I was like, okay, obsessed. And Tayshia looked super cute too. I thought they were both, like, so cute. And I liked Kitty's dress. I just, like, I'm sorry, but they outshined her, especially Caitlin's jumpsuit. I was so here for it, and I was like, where can I get me one of those? So Katie chooses Aaron to win the belt buckle. He won the whole match, and to me, that was definitely producer influenced. I think that they wanted Katie to get to tea, and literally she sat down and she was like, congrats on winning. Haven't really gotten to speak to you a lot. So, what's the tea on you and Cody? Like, she wasted no time. And to me, I was like, okay, he definitely is already been put into the friend category. I don't think she has any real romantic feelings towards him. And in fact, I don't even think they kissed. If they kissed, I missed it. I don't think they did. And so, Aaron doesn't really say anything too specific or anything too damning about Cody, but just kind of says, like, we know each other from back home. I've never liked him. I know, like, through some of his social media, it seems like he's definitely not here for the right reasons. I think he just wants to become famous, yada yada yada. And Katie was like, bet. We're gonna go nip this in the butt right now. So, homegirl wastes no time. They go to the night portion of the group date, and first things first, she pulls Cody right away and just confronts him about it. And listen, I didn't get bad vibes from Cody at all, and I don't even want to say until this moment, but the dude literally, like, didn't have anything to say for himself, which kind of made me feel like, okay, well, maybe he just is like over it at this point. Like maybe he's just like, okay, this, she doesn't believe me. We haven't even connected yet, and so I'm just gonna let it be what it is. But his response, like if I hadn't done it, I would have been like, no, this never happened. Like I would have been getting fumed, you know? Fumed? I would have been getting heated by the fumes. I would have been getting heated by the fumes. I don't know. I would have been getting heated. But he just didn't really respond. He was very like low key, kind of like was like, well, I don't really know like what you're talking about. Like, can you give me like a clue? Can you give me a clue as to what you're talking about? Like, it was very like monotone, not fighting for his case at all. So she goes back, I think, talks to Aaron maybe one more time. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think no, that was later on. Okay, so she goes, takes a moment to herself or something, I can't really remember, and then she decides he's done and she's over it. She sends his butt home. Like she's not having it, which I heard that the producers like didn't really like Katie because she wasn't really, I don't know, probably like going along with how the Bachelorette normally goes. Like usually if there's somebody that might be a villain, they usually stretch them out for a while, but she was like, nope, not having it, peace out, and sent him home on the second group date of the entire show. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that's the first time I feel like I remember seeing that. So that was pretty interesting and pretty gnarly. And then she, you know, she's kind of in her head and she is kind of having a moment to herself. And Andrew's like, okay, like I need to get that time. And he takes it upon himself and goes and comforts her, and I love that. I really like Andrew. He's cute, first of all, but he also just seems like he is a good guy, and I don't know, I just like him. I think the British accent didn't help. I know a lot of people were like, please never again, and I was like, please every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, please. I will have tea with you, we will have crumpets, I'm here for it, the whole nine, just let's go. But that was cute. They bonded, and I thought it was really nice. And then you could tell like she was eased, and she felt better, and she ended up talking to more of the guys. So I can't remember who all she talked to, but I wrote in my notes that Katie is just not able to hide when she's not impressed, and I can't remember who she was talking to. Maybe it was Kyle. And I wrote too, like, during when they were mud wrestling, I was like, ooh, Kyle's really cute. But then you kind of saw her talking to him later on in the episode, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like his vibe. But throughout the episode, you could definitely tell when Katie was talking to somebody who, like, she just isn't feeling it. You can totally see it all over her face, and I feel like that would definitely also be me. I don't remember if it was Michael asking her for a kiss later on at the rose ceremony or what it was, but there was something that one of the guys did, and I thought to myself, like, I would have just like bust out laughing if somebody did this to me. Like, I wouldn't be able to control myself, and not like to be mean, but sometimes guys are weird, and it's just like, why are you saying this to me right now? Like, why? What is happening? But you can totally read it all over her face. It's so funny, and I'm so here for it. That's one thing I really like about her. Like, she's nice about it. She's so kind, but you can totally tell that she's like, like, okay, yeah, okay. And it made me laugh. I can't remember who she was talking to when I noted that, but it was pretty obvious that she was not into it. Okay, so now we get to the rose ceremony. And you guys, my first note is Courtney is my king, and I am obsessed with him. He's so chill. I don't know if anybody is going to get this reference. Probably nobody does, but I said it once and I'll say it again. He looks like a freaking Muppet, and I'm obsessed with him. Like, he's got like, I think it's because he's got like a wide mouth and his eyes are always squinty. You know how like the Muppets eyes, they always have them like partially shut. I'm obsessed with him. He's so cute, and he's like so chill. Like, he almost seems like he doesn't know what's going on, and he just gives 0 F's. Like, at one point, Karl was like I think he was trying to rile people up, and he's like, well, we don't know that Cody's the only one that wasn't here for the right reasons, and yada yada yada. And Courtney was like, what are you talking about? So chill. I'm here for it. I want to see more of Courtney, please. I hope that he's here for a while because I'm obsessed and I'm definitely rooting for him. So, okay. That was just a side note. But first things first, and I thought this was so cute. Katie pulls Michael, the dad, right away. She doesn't even wait. Like, that's another thing. She doesn't wait for some guy to pull her. She's like, Michael, can I, pull you? Which I guess bachelorettes do that. But I just thought it was really cute that she grabbed him right away. They are talking about, well, Michael was like nervous, and she apologizes right away. She's like super real and says like, I just have felt a connection with you. That's why you weren't on any of the dates this week, because I just already feel like good about you. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. And then he goes and pulls the, can I kiss you? And this is just one of those instances where Katie was me 100%. She's like, I guess. These men, stop. I mean, we love a man who asked for consent, but at the same time, this is a bachelorette. Like, go in 90, and if she goes 10, then take it. You know what I mean? But it was still cute. Like, he's one of those people that I feel like he looks wise, he's not Katie's type, but he's so cute and like he seems so sweet that I feel like he would definitely win you over. And I think that's why she likes him, because he has a really good personality. But let's see here. So Karl ends up talking to Katie at some point during the rose ceremony, and this is when all hell breaks loose, and I was rolling my eyes the entire time / making my yuck noise because Karl grosses me out. I don't like him. He's sleazy, and he's a manipulator, and he's an instigator. He tells Katie that, I mean, unless they didn't show it, I feel like he just kind of starts talking about the guys for no reason and says, I just need you to know that I've heard some things that make it seem like maybe there's still some people here that aren't here for the right reasons. And she's asking for specifics, and he's like, well, I'm not going to say names. Let's not even talk about it, actually. Like, I just wanted to, like, let you know that. He's like, I want you to have a good night. Let's have a good night. Okay, you just started drama for no reason. Like, people were going after Noah for talking to Tayshia. No. Like, this guy doesn't have any names because he doesn't actually know anything. He's making things up. And jumping ahead, you see all the guys like confronting Thomas about saying that he wanted to be the bachelor. I'm sorry, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I guess in the fact that maybe he's not 100% there for Katie, okay, but like a lot of people want to be the bachelor or the bachelorette. Most people go on there because they want to become Instagram famous and they want to make that money, honey. So if that's who he's talking about in this instance right now, that doesn't bother me. And I think I would love to see Thomas as the bachelor because he's fine. And I don't think that at that point in time, Karl knew anything about anybody. I think he was talking out of his butt. And I just, ugh, the entire time. The entire time I was like, okay. And I was so glad that Katie didn't take it, because that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. He just was like acting like she was then kind of, not that she was wigging out, but he was like kind of dismissing her in a way. And after he drops a bomb on her, that's not what we do. That's not cute, and that's not okay. Don't do that. And so I was so glad that she was like, you need to tell me what you know, and then we can nip it in the bud. And he thought he was going to be able to start a fire and then just keep it moving. And I feel like maybe he's seen the show before, because a lot of those bachelorettes are like, oh, you've heard things? And then they like pop off on everybody. Whereas Katie was like, well, who are you talking about? What's being said? And so I loved that she seems to like actually know. She didn't leave her brain at the door when she walked into the Bachelorette. Sometimes I feel like these girls do that. Like, they just get so caught up in the moment. And Katie seems like she still has her head on her shoulders, and she's not going to be taking crap from people. So that's something I do really appreciate about her is, and then even for her afterwards to say, like, I don't know if I trust Karl. He can't give me names. He can't give me details. I was like, yes, Katie, yes. Like, please, like, do not just let this dude start a fire just to start a fire. I really appreciate that about her, and I honestly hope she sends him home. But he was in the trailer, so she doesn't send him home. That's a bummer. Well, maybe he'll only be here for the next episode, because just please no. And so then, you see all the guy, like, she goes and confronts all the guys. Then all the guys are like, we literally have no idea what you're talking about, which, they tend to do. And I forgot, she pulls Aaron again, which, again, friend vibes, and is asking him, like, well, do you know anything? And he's, even Aaron to say, I don't know anything, was like, okay, exactly. Karl is making this all up. Like, he's just trying to instigate stuff. And I'm not here for it. And I don't think Katie's going to be here for it for very much longer either. So I'm hoping that she gets rid of him just as fast as she got rid of Cody. I don't know. I think I might drop off there. And so we really didn't get to see a lot of guys. I guess I did have this one note, which is kind of random, that John is super sweet and cute, and I was trying to figure out who he would be good with on Paradise. And I wish I could think, like, I'm trying to think of who he would be, like, so freaking cute with. My mind is automatically going to Brie. I don't know. My mind automatically goes to Brie, but then I'm not sure. I'm trying to think who else was on Matt's season or who was on Pete's season that would like John. I don't know, but I'm going to keep thinking about it. So that was pretty much the end of that. We're left kind of on a cliffhanger. Let's see here. The sneak peek. So the sneak peek for the next episode was a lot of crying. A lot of Katie crying, a lot of guys crying. And I was like, wait a second, is this a sneak peek for the next episode? Or is this the whole season? And I think it's for the next episode. So that's a lot of crying for one episode. And for the third episode, and you see the guys, like I said earlier, attacking Thomas for supposedly saying he wanted to be the Bachelor. He admits to it, but that could be clipped together. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm sorry. This might be a hot take, but that does not bother me. I mean, he's cute, and honestly, I don't see him for Katie. But if he maybe didn't know who the Bachelorette was going to be, maybe he thought it was going to be Michelle, I could see him for Michelle, not necessarily them together, but I don't see him for Katie. And so him saying something about wanting to be the Bachelor. I mean, Peter clearly wanted to be the Bachelor. Everybody was giving Hannah crap when she went on his season and was like, well, I thought you wanted to be the Bachelor, like crying. And 100% he wanted to be the Bachelor. I'm sorry. I think Peter is a prime example of somebody who comes off as, oh, I'm the sweet boy, I'm the quiet boy, the boy next door. Boy wanted to be the Bachelor, and please, can we get somebody in there that knows what they're doing? Like, for the love of all that is good. But to straight up say, like, yeah, I thought about wanting to be the Bachelor. Like, I mean, Kaylin and Cassie said the same thing. Like, who cares? That doesn't mean that they don't like, that he doesn't like Katie. I mean, he could be faking it, but he seems so, like, honest and nice and genuine. But maybe I'm fooled. I mean, I have been fooled many a time in my life, so who knows? Maybe I just am a bad judge of character. But I like him, and I like what I've seen of him so far, and if that's the only thing that they've got on him, then I roll my eyes, and I'm sure he'll be sent home. But he didn't bother me, so we shall see. But I'm excited for the next episode. I am excited to see the rest of the season and the drama that unfolds. And please, I was so upset that Blake was not on this trailer. Get his ass out there. I'm ready to see him and Katie. Like, I want to see their interactions. Now, granted, I already think that Greg, I mean, obviously he's the only one that's got a one-on-one, but Blake and Greg, I'm trying to think, like, honestly, similar vibes, but I'm sorry, to me, Blake is 10 times hotter than Greg. Also, I'm petty, but I don't know if I could marry somebody whose name is Greg. That is so petty, but I'm just being me. Like, you have to think about these things. You have to say this guy's name for the rest of your life. Like, Katie and Greg, Katie and Blake, come on. Like, Blake is the ultimate lumberjack. He loves animals. He seems like such a sweetheart. They're both sex positive. So I feel like I just really want to see their dynamic together. Because obviously you know them like apart. But I want to see them together so bad. I cannot wait for him to get out here. I was really hoping he was going to be on this trailer, but we didn't see him. So I'm thinking maybe he'll be... I mean, I would hope he's at least here episode 4. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I am on Instagram pretty regularly. So if you want to come hang out over there, feel free to do so. What else? I've got other things in the works and I want to share them, but I am not ready to share them quite yet. So the closer I get to this one specific project in particular, I am going to start talking about it more. I'm just like really... like, it's my baby project and I don't want to, like, I'm always afraid I'm going to jinx myself and I'll like screw something up, and so I haven't said anything. Like, I've talked to like close friends about it, but I haven't said anything like publicly like I'm some big star. Maybe one day. Goodbye. But I haven't said anything like to my Instagram world yet, but it's coming, so be on the lookout for like a big announcement. Big to me anyways. But besides that, I mean, I think that's it. I will catch you guys next week if I don't like throw in another blog sometime during the rest of this week. But let me know either on Instagram or down in the comments how you liked this little situation. Let me know if... I feel like it probably needs to be a little bit shorter, but then, I mean, you got to talk about the whole episode. That's why I thought about doing a podcast, but I just feel like if I do a podcast, it'll be like too much for me to handle. But what do you guys think? Like, should I just chill out? Should I just stick with the blog/vlog, or are you guys super into podcasts right now? I would seriously love and appreciate any feedback you want to give. And please, like, especially comments about just like the show in general. I want to hear them. I love talking Bachelor. So I look forward to hearing you guys, talking to you guys in the comments on Instagram. And I will stop talking and I will see you guys later. Bye.